Good afternoon and welcome back to another edition of the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today I'm here with two members from East Lynn Little League talking about their upcoming season. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So, quick, can you just introduce yourselves a little and then how you originally got into this program?
Well, my name's Charlie Deneen. I'm president of East Lynn Little League, and I started in this program because I started to coach my youngest son. He's 7, he'll be 8 this July. So I stuck with the program.
Great.
And my name is Wendell Aupont. I'm the softball director, and I coached last year, and this year I came as a director of softball.
Awesome. And I know I say it's Little League, but what ages specifically can play?
So for baseball, it's 4, starts at T-ball and then up to 12 years old. Softball's a little different.
Yeah, softball is 6 years old, and we go up to 16 years old.
Okay, so you go up a little into high school.
A little into high school.
Okay. And you're doing a few clinics now, but when does the season officially start? Are you starting into tryout mode a little bit? How's that work?
So tryouts for baseball are March 30th, and softball is March...
It's the next weekend.
24th. And then our season opener is actually April 20th, yeah.
Okay, so you get right into it.
Yes.
You jump in and go. So how long does the season last then? Because I also saw that you tend to play even in like October as well.
So baseball is about 6 weeks, and then it'll roll into the City Series, and then it goes into All-Stars, and then we also have a fall ball program for a couple of ages, so they play into late August, early September.
Okay.
And that's the same thing for softball, same thing.
And so if they want to get involved, how would they go about doing that if they're interested?
Baseball is a little different than softball. We have a boundary that we have to abide by. If you're in the East Lynn boundary, which you can find at leaguefinder.com, you put in your address, the kid's age, and it'll tell you whose league you belong into. If they want to join, they can go to eastlynn.com, eastlynnlittleLeague.com, and they can register there. And if we find out that they don't belong with us, we'll notify the other league and we'll send them on to that other league.
In softball, we got the same boundaries, but we have a little bit more room where we all the high schools belongs to East Lynn. So anyone that goes to any of the high schools that's in Lynn, this same thing, go to eastlittleLeague.com, and they'll be able to join.
They also have Westland's territory.
As well.
So East Lynn and Westland softball are actually together. So if you live in Westland, you can play for East Lynn.
Okay.
Because Westland doesn't offer softball.
Okay, I understand. You combine it a little bit.
Yes.
And do you know in general how big the program is? I'm just curious, so many kids are involved.
Last year we had roughly 250 kids.
Wow.
It was around 250 kids, ballpark. We're hoping to get that this year, if not exceed it.
I played softball, and I remember how fun it was. You make friends, the camaraderie of it. And if anyone is thinking about joining, parents or kids, what would you say are some of the benefits to it?
Learning to work as a team, integrity, discipline, learning how to work with different individuals, because not everybody works the same. Not everybody works as hard as others, you know what I mean? So you actually you learn to work basically as a group with a different type of individual, so to speak.
Right, and most importantly, it's fun.
Exactly.
If fun's not involved, then we have a problem.
And I'm curious, is it all volunteer-based? Like you mentioned, you both coached. So is it parents volunteering? Do you have any kind of staff? How does that work?
So everything that we do is volunteer-based. Wow. So including me, Wendell, he's volunteer. All the board members, they're all volunteers. They're all parents who have kids in the system. Whether it be concession stands, field crew, coaching, anything, it's all volunteer-based.
Wow. So you really rely on the parents, the community to keep you going.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So last year, you mentioned the city championship a little bit, East Lynn won in baseball.
Yes, we did.
So how are you looking to, it is all fun, but how do you go off that momentum too? 'Cause I'm sure the kids get excited.
I mean, they're kind of still living on that high, so to speak, There's a lot of kids returning from that team. I would say about half, and they're looking to just get right back to it and hopefully take another trophy home.
And again, with such a large age range, how are they divided up? Is it like every age is a different team? Do you kind of group them? How does that work?
It's pretty much with softball, we have lower minors from 6. It can range from 6 to 8, 9.
Okay.
And then we have upper minors. It goes from 8 to 10, and that's a little bit of the skill level as well. Then from 10 on to 12, we have the major levels, and then from 13 and on, we have the junior, senior levels.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then baseball, T-ball is usually around their first year, maybe 2, depends on how little they are and how young they are. Then it goes to coach pitch, which is single A. That's usually 6 going into 7. And then the kid pitch, it's double A, which is kid pitch, but if the kids struggle a little bit, then the coach can help out a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it's strictly kid pitch, which is the minors, and then we have the majors.
So it's more based on the skill level. Like it is age, but it's also the skill level. As they get better, they move up, so to speak.
Yes. It also depends on safety too. If we don't feel a kid's safe to be in a certain level, we won't put them in that level.
Regardless of age.
Mm-hmm. And I have to ask, since you've both been in this for a few years, were there any memories or highlights or anything that's really stood out for you as a coach and now as board members?
I mean, I have one. I have a player last year who struggled a lot. She was very shy, timid, always was kind of like, second guess herself. Mm-hmm. And I said to Dan, I was like, hey, I really have my work cut out with this one, because usually I find a way to interact with them and to get them going. And for this one, it wasn't happening. And finally, at the end of the season, this girl really turned around the corners, and next thing you know, she was like at the we had a little last day of the season pizza party, and she came up to me. She was like, "Coach, can you and I do a TikTok?" And I was like, "Absolutely!" So that's what makes my day.
I would say last year, being a coach of my son's team, seeing the progression that these kids made, seeing how hard they wanted to work, and how much they just had fun, and now being a board member, I can't necessarily manage a team because I am the president, so now seeing them around, I see them in the store, see them outside of schools, they're like, "Coach," they just love coming up to me, and it makes it all worth it when you do that. It's all about the kids,
So, and do you have a lot of kids, do you say once they enter into it, they keep going, like they keep moving up into the league, into the ranks? Is that common?
I would actually, the former president, Dan Johansson, and I were just talking about that. I would say retention growth is probably in and around like 60%. And it all depends. Some kids they're not made out for it and they just don't like it, and a lot of them do progress. A lot of them do come back, And I think that's what helps the league grow and become stronger is when that happens. The more they want to come back, the stronger we are. The more they'll play, the more we'll play, more games we could have.
And then you have maybe those little more veteran players mentoring some of the younger ones, encouraging them, like you said, and really building that team.
Well, see, that's one of the things that I kind of want to push this year is, especially where we have a few number of fields, because our field is under construction right now due to the ARPA construction.
Okay.
So the bigger kids will be bumping into the younger kids. So we kind of want to push the older kids to encourage the younger kids. Be there, cheer them on. Don't just sit there and just throw a ball around and not be there. Engage with the little kids. Help them out. Teach them what they think, they saw something or how to throw something, play catch with them. Just to get them more involved, because it's the younger kids that look up to those bigger kids and be like, that's going to be me in a couple of years, you know what I mean? Playing in the big field or whatever.
And that's the same thing with the clinics that we have now. We have some of the veteran players that they also come and volunteer, and they helping run the clinics, teaching the kids, catching the balls for them, encouraging them. And then when they see the older kids throwing the ball, hitting the ball, and like Chuck said, you know, I want to be like that, and that's how we recycle the whole veterans and come and help out the younger ones.
The whole full circle thing.
That's right.
100%.
We always love to see. It's always great when you see the younger kids want to be them, and then they grow up and do the same thing.
Yes.
And I will have to wrap up in a moment, but was there anything that I hadn't mentioned or didn't touch upon that you wanted to say?
I think the junior, senior softball, we haven't had a team in a couple of years, and we're bringing it back.
Right.
I think the numbers look strong this year. I hope more and more kids want to come out and play. We still have a couple more clinics left for baseball. I think there's 2 left for softball. We have 2 for baseball, and then our tryouts are March 30th. That's for ages 9 to 12.
Great.
In our clinics, our softball clinics that breed from 2 to 5, with the younger girls coming in at 2, the older girls coming from 3 to 5. So, we just encourage a lot of girls to come out, especially come register, put the TikToks down, put the phones down,
Get off the couch.
You know, come in registered. It's fun. It's a learning environment, and you know, we'll love to see every single girl that is eligible to play in East Lynn to come and try out.
Same with the boys. Get off the couch, come play. You know, come be part of the East Lynn community. You know, it's one of the things. Right? It's one thing that I've noticed over the last couple of years. We've become more of a family-oriented league than, you know, just a community league. It's growing. It's almost infectious.
Right. And then volunteers. The volunteers is a core part of what we do. We need more volunteers. We need more parents to come. Instead of sitting at the games, I know you're watching the game, but you come out and help out, loan a hand. It'll make the program grow and better and bigger and make it more fun.
And I can tell from the passion from you both how much you care about it, the kids in the program. I remember I used to love to play when I was younger, so I want to thank you both for coming on to really share some of that.
Appreciate it.
Right, of course, anytime. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests.